lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get.
He missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
In 1950, they turned this old cattle town into a place where northeastern stock car fans could gather and look on in wonder at the battle before them in this legendary arena. The cheers of yesteryear still echo through the countryside, and tonight, the roar of modified thunder fills the air. Our outlaws are always looking for a battleground, and tonight they bust open the gates again for some Saturday night short track racing in America on iRacing Live and the Global Sim Racing Channel. Tonight, the Bootleg Racing League Outlaw Modified Series brings you round 4 with the Outlaw 100 from Oxford, Maine. Welcome home, everyone. I'm Sean Ambrose, and back in the booth with me tonight for an evening with the Outlaws is Chris Scala. In the control room, twisting and tweaking the dials, the man with the plan, Joe Peak. Dougie Beard behind the camera tonight, bringing it to you live and in Technicolor this season. Chris, welcome on in, sir. Good to see you, buddy. Man, we got a good one on hand tonight.
Oh, yes, we do. Good to see you too, Sean. And, well, we've gone from a track in the last 2 weeks that we talked about 5 or 6 or 4 corners to a track. Tonight we could use hashtag What Straightaway. Oxford Plains, the best way we could talk about this track and this 3 8-mile track is grab a football, stick it in front of you. The outline of the track is that football. That's what we got tonight. 3 8-mile, and basically the low line is going to be your friend tonight. Fast racing, 14, 15-second laps. We got a tight point race. I'm anxious for this one tonight. And speaking of that football-shaped track, yeah, how about we take a lap around it?
Hello, I'm James Merhula in the Global Sim Racing Channel Modified. I'm going to take you for a lap around the Oxford Plains Speedway. This is a tricky little 3/8-mile speedway. Something that's going to be very interesting here is how the track drives. You never really are going straight here. You just turn a little bit less when you get onto the straightaways. You're also going to have that curve down there on the bottom, just looking to get the car upset as well. And look, we don't have outside retaining walls out here either, so even though that the wall won't be as much of a danger, you do not want to go flying over that embankment at a high rate of speed. Keeping the car low and trying to get a good run off of the corners and try and duck down below your competition will be key to try and making up positions here. But we might see a good chrome bumper, and those are your laps around the Oxford Plains Speedway.
And that was a couple laps around here at Oxford Plains Raceway in the GSRC SK Modified. Tell you what, we got just a moment here. We're going to talk to one of these SK Modified drivers from one of these Outlaws. We'll bring him down, talk to him. Matt Shinoski, taking a moment from practice to talk to us from the number 35 Hardy's machine. Matt Shinoski, how you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, Sean. How are you tonight?
Excellent, excellent. Can't wait to get this thing going. You lead the points going into this tonight. How do you feel about your chances here at Oxford tonight?
Well, I feel pretty good because I got a pretty decent starting position. So that's probably the most important thing. It's so tough to pass here.
Yeah, it really is. We've been watching that in practice, and I watched a little bit of the action this evening in the trucks and the super lates, and it seems like down low is where you want to be, and making those passes is going to be at a premium tonight. I guess you'll be dependent on your opponents to make a mistake at most times.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Most of the time, you just have to be patient and ride and wait for something else for your opponent to slip up high or hit the curb, perhaps, and you can get by.
What kind of wear are you getting out of the tires in practice?
It seems pretty good in practice. Your tires seem to be lasting pretty long.
That's good. Only about 9 degrees of banking out there to work with, and certainly the runoff areas here pretty legendary. You want to stay out of that, Matt?
Oh yeah, that's the worst thing that can happen to you is you get sent off the edge of the track there. So you just want to try to keep it near the bottom.
Now we are starting out with a 30% usage on the track. You expect the rubber to really come in and be a factor in the late stages of this race?
That I'm not sure. That's something we're just going to have to wait and see and find out.
All right, Matt. Well, hey, get back in the car. Turn a few more laps. We certainly appreciate your time. Hope we get a chance to talk to you again.
All right, thank you, Sean. Before I go, I want to say a quick hello to my brother, Tim. He hasn't been feeling well this week. He's been under the weather, and he isn't able to race with us this evening. So get well soon, Tim.
Yeah, and we echo that sentiment here at the Global Sim Racing Channel. We hope Tim makes a good recovery here and get back racing with us next week.
Thank you, Sean.
All right, Matt. Thanks, buddy. All right, that was Matt Shadowski driving the number 35 Hardy's machine. Let's take a look at the points battle real quick. I did say Matt Shadowski sitting at the top of that right now with 34 points. Donnie Moore in second, just 4 points behind. Don Holcomb, 7 points behind, tied there with J.R. Shepard. Richard Blake sitting just 8 points behind in fifth. Quite frankly, the top 8 in the championship right now, only separated by 10 points. And this is only race 4. We've got 11 of these to get in this season, so plenty of time here. Like I said, with only 10 points separating the top 8, plenty of time here to get something done. A lot could shake up tonight, Chris.
Oh, absolutely, and it's still early in the season, which is a time you could make your moves pretty much, because obviously the longer you go into the season, the more gaps you see in points, and the harder it is to make up time. So if you're somebody like Lowell Jewell sitting down in 10th right now, he's some 16 points out of the point lead. If he can get himself a good finish tonight, and not that he wishes any ill will on any driver, but if you get somebody like Shanowski or Moore or Holcomb, those guys, they have bad runs all of a sudden this evening. Lowell can get himself back in this race easier now than, say, 4 weeks from now when there's only about 3 races to go. So if you're going to make your mark, you got to do it now before it's too late.
Yeah, well, definitely, certainly, like I said, plenty of time left to go, but you could also, with a good result here, and if you get hot early like Mr. Donnie Moore has been, he's been fast all week here at Oxford, this could be a good night for him. We'll see, certainly. Tell us a little bit about how we're going to get things going tonight and what we do here in the Bootleg series.
Hey, what? It's the ultimate short track series, Sean, and they do it right. And basically, when I say they do it right, we go back to last week's field. The top 8 finishers from last week, well, they are being inverted, and we'll talk about that here in a couple minutes, because last week it actually pretty much decided the results of the race. Ernie Brown started on the pole after finishing 8th in the previous race, and he led every lap at Concord and won the thing. So obviously that plays a big factor in the inversion. Fixed setups, of course, in this series with 16 gallons of gas. Single file restarts, all lap cars. You are shotgun in the back. On restarts, way by rule is in effect. Of course, first car a lap or more down. That's not involved in any way of the caution. Tires. There's only the set you have on your car right now. So basically, when you start the race, that's the tires you got for the 100 laps here this evening at Oxford Plains. You cannot change them at all, or let's just say there could be some very swift penalties when it's all over with. You mentioned the track state. Usually you start about 30%, and I'm glad that the topic was brought up, because I've been watching the track, and it's rubbering up a lot in the corners, and I think it's because of the heavy car speed with these modified. So I'm wondering how slick that bottom line is going to become here, say lap 50 of this race.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think, again, because we suspect that that's going to be the preferred line, I do think rubber is going to be a factor tonight, and we'll certainly continue to talk about that and follow it. They ran a couple of other races this evening already here. They do it every week, and they ran earlier tonight. They got the trucks on the track for 50 laps here, the Oxford 50 and the Whiskey Run Truck Series. Brian Neff finds his way to the top of the podium. Donnie Moore, who I talked about a moment ago, finished second. Matt Shinosky, our interview, he finished third. So Matt finding a little bit of luck in the trucks, and then right after that, they jumped in the super lates for the Oxford Plains 100, and Phil Temples finds himself the winner. Great run for him. Donnie Moore, Phil won all 100 laps, led that race. He went wire to wire. Donnie Moore, again, finds himself on the podium. Bridesmaid, 2 in a row. Tim Knott rounds that out for a third-place finish, and so that was a good run for those guys. But again, for most of the drivers in here this evening, this is going to be another 100 laps of the 150 they've already run this evening. So putting in yeoman's work. Chris, they also ran Tuesday night. How'd they do there?
Well, they put on a good show, as always, and you mentioned a name, and we'll continue that name of Donnie Moore. You mentioned it. He won both races Tuesday night, dominating, winning the Copper Line Legends 50 at Oxford Plains, and, of course, the White Lightning 100 limited late models at Oxford Tuesday night. So it's been a Donnie Moore show, and, well, right now he's sitting P8 in practice, and it could easily be the Donnie Moore show tonight, too. So we'll have to see what happens here coming up in about 5 minutes or so.
Now listen up, everybody. Everybody on viewing with us this evening, you can have your name on this series, on the modified series here with the Bootleg Racing League. Get in touch. They're looking for new marketing partners and sponsors. You can contact Lowell and the guys over at bootlegracingleague.com/sponsorship. All the information you need to know is there. Great group of racers here, and they run every Tuesday night, every Saturday night, and this modified race that we bring you every Saturday night is the crown jewel of all 5 of those races they run every week. And come check them out and have some fun with them. If you're not a member, they're certainly looking for people to sign up, but they would also love to help out with get some help with some sponsorship, put your name on a race, or carry the whole season, but they'd love to have you. So check them out. But Chris, stories tonight, lots of things going on early on in this season. So far, we've had 3 races, 3 different winners. Could tonight be someone getting a second win, a different winner tonight? What do you think?
I think there's a really good shot at a new winner tonight, because I'm looking at the lineup right now and how it's going to shape out. And with Matt mentioning his brother Tim, unfortunately being on the shelf, and I obviously add to what you guys said, hopefully you feel better and get back soon. You're going to see Ryan Nuss on the pole tonight. Ryan's one of those guys with no wins so far. He's going to have that bottom preferred line at the start. It's going to be hard to pass, so hopefully Nuss will have a fast car for him tonight. He'll have a chance. Then you look at who's going to start second. That's supposed to be Shanowski, Tim, that is. So Lowell Jules going to move to the outside, I believe. If that works out correctly, he'll be on the outside pole. You're going to have Matt Shanowski starting third. You're going to have J.R. Shepard starting fourth. Now, Matt Shanowski, he's got to win. Most of the others don't. So it's a really good shot. We could see a fourth winner in 4 races this week.
Well, I'll tell you what, we know the outside might not be the ideal place to pass, but if somebody makes a mistake inside, a couple cars get tangled up, you could find a move up there. Someone could get lucky. We talked about how hot Donnie Moore has been at this track. He's going to have to start in a position, a precarious position, kind of in the hornet's nest there. So he'll have a little bit of work to do and have to try and stay out of trouble. They only do get 1 fast repair, but even having to go into the pits and losing position here could be very, very costly.
Oh, absolutely. With the track position becoming a key role, the one thing you don't want to do is get yourself into trouble tonight. Just hold your position and just try to capitalize on people's mistakes, as you mentioned earlier, Sean. And the one thing I'm curious to see, and I keep looking at this line, it's getting darker and darker in the corners. You wonder if eventually, could there be something in the outside eventually? I doubt it. You never know, because where there's not darkness, there's grip there. Who knows?
Well, I'll tell you what, Chris, we have arrived at the moment everyone has been waiting on. the Outlaw 100 tonight at Oxford Plains Speedway. Let's go to our grid. Call it out for you here now. 17 cars starting this field tonight. Ryan Nuss will sit on the pole. Row number 1, Lowell Jewell starts just on the outside of him. Matt Shinosky starts 3rd. J.R. Shepard in 4th. Tim Knott starting 5th tonight. Donnie Moore in 6th. Ernie Brown starts 7th. It was our winner last week. Ralph Connor starting in 8th. Brian Neff inside of row 5, and Chris Wolfson will start 10th.
All right, taking a look at the rest of your grid. Starting 11th, Richard Blake will be on the inside of row number 6 with John Holcomb on his outside. Lucas Stinziano there on the inside of row 7 alongside Joe Marks, who was second in practice. He'll be one to watch. Philip Temples, Benjamin Wolfson, and Mike Holloway going to be the rest of your 17-car field as we get one to go.
We do have one to go. It does not take long to get around here on the pace house. This could be a very good race. We'll see. The races before have been really good ones. It's been fast and limited amount of cautions. We're about to kick this thing off. The Ford Mustang pace car is in 3, getting ready to peel off in 4. He'll duck down, and then Ryan Nuss will get us started. Tron on the inside, Lowell Jewell up on the outside. There they go. The green flag is out. Run down into 1. Bunch of cars still stuck up on the outside. That whole outside line not able to move down. Lowell Jewell fighting up top with Ryan Nuss. Get this race started.
Oh, one car off the track towards the back. It's Ralph Connor. He was having issues in practice, and those continue here in the race as we get single file. But Connor off the track, I believe he kept it off of the trees and the fence.
Lowell Jewell was able to get that number 5 machine down into the bottom line. He settles it in 3rd. John Holcomb just behind him. The battle up front, Ryan Nuss, Matt Shinosky. He was able to just get away from Lowell there. Lowell was happy to settle into 3rd. He found an opening and took it. And now everybody is nose to tail as they head down the backstretch.
Yeah, I tell you what, one other car that had an issue here at the start of the race is Joe Marks. As one car off the track over here in turn 1.
Is that Wolfson?
It is Wolfson. Chris Wolfson off.
The number 17 having a little bit of trouble, and he brings it right into the pit. We look at the replay here, try and see what happened with Chris. Ooh, that might have been a little technical difficulty there, possibly. Looks like Wolfson might have had just a bit of a connection issue, but that's okay. We're back up front to Ryan Nuss, our leader. He let him off at green, and he's still hammering it.
He's got a pretty good lead, about 3/10 over Matt Shinosky there in second. Should mention Wolfson did take the car behind the wall. Hopefully get those issues fixed. You got about a 5-car breakaway up here, and then a good gap back to 6th place Ernie Brown.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Lowell Jewell having a really solid run there in 3rd. He so far been able to keep J.R. Shepard at bay. J.R. looking to put the chrome horn to him here a little. They've been bumper to bumper for the last several laps. J.R. putting a little bit of heat on Lowell. And it's given Nuss just a chance to kind of stretch his legs a bit. But Shinosky just solid right now. He's locked in and really good focus on the leader, and no reason to get busy yet. We're just getting to lap 10. Plenty of race to go, Chris.
Yeah, plenty of race to go. Just getting into a rhythm. I mean, it's only a 38-mile race when you look at it, but still 100 laps around Oxford Plains. You're not driving straight at all on this track. Your wheel is pretty much turned the whole time.
Well, I'll tell you what. These 5 have broken away, as you just talked about here a few laps ago. The gap's getting even wider. Tim Knott, he'll be the man there at the back of that little train of cars. They're awful fast right now, too, running some really great laps.
Hey, one thing here, times are falling off a lot, too, and so I'm looking at pace speed about 15.3s to 15.4s. We were seeing 14.9s and 15 flats in practice, so 10 laps in, these tires are falling off.
Yeah, well, you do have to preserve it a little bit. So what we're going to see is drivers maybe take a different approach. You'll see them maybe run 4 to 5 laps in one groove and then maybe move up a little bit, cool them off. The right rear does get angry here quick, and that's the tire you definitely want to watch out for because
contact. Not to cut you off there, but it's contact. Brian Neff got nerfed up the track. Chrome Horned, it looked like they're into turn one. Everybody looks like comes out with cooler heads, but Neff's going to go backwards.
Almost contact there again for Neff, side-by-side contact, but we're looking at it on the replay here. Just behind him, Phil Temples.
Yeah, I caught it out of the corner of my eye. I saw two cars come together and one on the curve, and somehow they all straightened it out.
Yeah, Neff right there on the bumper, Ernie Brown. Oh, Neff hit that. He hit that bump on the inside, on the apron. That got the car upset and shuffled him up to the outside groove.
So the curve, he got curb stomped.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. That was costly. Neff losing a lot of laps. Still stuck up top. It is not over for Brian Neff.
But you know what, though? Look at it. He's fighting that outside. I brought this up a little bit ago with that track getting darker on the bottom. You wonder if this outside line might come to work a little bit here. Neff's doing a great job fighting here.
He's battling with his old buddy Donnie Moore. Phil Temples right there also. Oh, Neff getting fast on the outside, was trying to make a move, had to get out of it. He's holding on. That's a tough place to be fast up there because you don't want to get off in the gutter because the gutter will suck you in and right into that concrete. But Neff, again, charging really hard. Contact. Oh, looked like a little bit of contact between Donnie Moore and Ernie Brown.
Richard Blake caught the light pole. Hopefully he's okay.
Well, here, let's look at the replay. Let's look what we saw here. Ernie Brown is at the front of that pack. Now remember, Neff was up on the outside. And there's Donnie Moore just behind him. Behind Ernie. That's the white and black car. And he gets a piece of that apron. The car gets out of shape. And Ernie went around by himself. He also got a piece of the apron.
You know, it almost looks like, Sean, that he felt like he had a great run going into the corner, and he wanted to make that move to the bottom, but there really wasn't anything there, and he got the door shut on him, and he had no other thing to do but to go over the curve, and unfortunately contacts made because of it.
Yeah, and we didn't talk about that enough in the pre-race, but that little berm, we'll call it a berm or a curve, whatever you want to refer to it as, but that's the separation of the apron to the track surface, and there's not much of it around this track, but right there you see it when you hit that. It really gets the car upset. Ernie Brown going around for a wild ride in the Krankenstein Racing number 8 machine. Ernie going to have to settle back to 13th place.
And I have a feeling he is not going to be a happy camper after that. Meanwhile, we got a car in the infield having issues here. I think it's Richard Blake somehow is spun in the infield again. Not sure what's going on. Actually, no, it's it happens when you don't put your thing to live on the screen. Happens.
Oh, and that happened. Yeah, Richard Blake did go in for a rather lengthy pit stop. He is 2 laps down. I'm sorry, he's 1 lap down. I take that back.
And I don't think there was a lucky dog on that one because everybody was on the lead lap at the time. So
yeah, not showing anybody waved around on that deal there. So he will have a chance on the next caution flag if we get one. We got in 20 solid laps there to get us started.
Yeah, great run to start the race. As you see, it took all 8 minutes to get that run done, pretty much. So another 75 laps or so, we'll get some good racing on here. And tell you what a great start we've had. Some great close racing, and hopefully everybody's enjoying it so far.
We've got a few cars moving up through the field. And let's see, right now, Brian Neff is one of them, started in 9th up to 6th. But we're going to get restarted with Ryan Nuss in the lead, Matt Shanoski in 2nd, Lowell Jewell holding down 3rd, J.R. Shepard in 4th, and Tim Knott will round out the top 5. Here we go. The green flag is out. Nuss getting another nice start to this race. Off to the races. I got to tell you, when that caution flag came out, Nuss was really running, had really started to pull away from Matt Shanoski. Shanoski's got to be careful here. Try not to let him get away too much. Like I said, at the end of that last run, Nuss had really started to just open it up and really dominate this track.
Hey, what, Joel, about put the chrome horn to Shanoski there in the turn 1. He got in the corner kind of hot, but cooler heads again prevail. I should mention Mike Holloway's on pit road in the 31.
Yeah, Holloway having some connection issues this evening. I believe he had trouble in the truck race also. Neff in a three-car battle back here with his old buddy Tim Knott. Tim Knott working on trying to catch to the top 3 of this field, or the top 4, but Neff all over Tim Knott right now. Donnie Moore just behind. Those 3 really, really solid drivers. Been in this league forever, and we're going to see them mix it up.
Yeah, I should mention as we ride on board with the Winn-Dixie car, Brian Neff, you see how important it is when you come off the corner, normally you want to go out towards the wall. Here at Oxford Plains, the opposite. You do not want to go towards the wall as Neff makes the move inside here, and looks like he'll get around maybe not, no pun intended. But you don't want to get too far off the corner.
Yeah. Well, Tim left the door open just a little bit. That's going to leave it open for Donnie Moore, trying to get a wheel in as they head down to 1. Donnie able to get in there. Tim hung up on the outside. He's going to win this drag race? I don't think so. No, we get into 3.
Oh, hip checked.
Up the track just a bit. Oh, man. Tim losing 3 spots in a matter of 2 laps right there.
And the only thing you can do now is get your composure, just hold on, and just get back into a rhythm. Is all you can really do in this situation. We got a nice little battle here for second. Shanowski under attack.
Yes, he is. That's a good battle. Shanowski, a little bit of trouble there for J.R. Shepard. That opens an opportunity for Brian Neff. Lowell working on Shanowski up here. Don't want to get... Lowell's got the inside. Great move by Lowell Jewell. Matt Shanowski, tires probably starting to kind of go away a little bit on him, maybe.
Yeah, and I mentioned this was tonight. If Lowell Jewell's going to make a run for a championship, he's got to have a good run, especially with Shanowski and these guys running up front. Best thing he can do is go get a win.
You know, I'm sure Matt was driving hard on that restart, trying to stay with Ryan Nuss, and probably made that right rear tire just a bit angry. And when you do, you're gonna again give that opponent. You're gonna open the door. You're gonna start to run up a little bit, and man, they will take it every time. Lowell Jewell doing a great job of that as he heads off of turn 4. Trying to catch Ryan Nuss. He's doing it too. Lowell having a really solid run. Took it in really hot going into 1.
Tell you what, one car running some very fast laps is that 98 of J.R. Shepard. He's caught back to the back bumper of Shanowski. Actually gave him a little bit of a bumper there, but he's looking to attack here for 3rd. And Jewell's heading for the lead.
Yes, he is. Jewell really hooked up. Love the way that car looks this evening.
JR!
I saw that back there. JR coming out of 4 was tied off and down on the inside of that berm we talked about, and he was having trouble hanging on to it, wasn't he, Chris?
Yeah, he's getting curb stomped left and right, it seems like. And you get on that curb, it's like Martinsville. You get loose and you lose that back end. He's had to save it twice now, and thankfully hasn't lost it or any positions doing it.
Well, he's feeling the pressure of Neff. Neff is really probably making him a little nervous at this point. Neff himself has got a mirror full of Donnie Moore. That could never be fun. Those 2 certainly legendary in this series. And you know, as I look up front, Ryan Nuss starting to catch. We've got a car in front of him. It looks like that's going to be Lucas Stinziano. Maybe just a bit off pace. Still on the lead lap, but that will be the back of the field.
Well, and hopefully Lucas and them will communicate, and he'll move high and let these leaders go by and not cause any kind of issue. You don't want something like that, especially as you're coming up on halfway right now.
Lowell Jewell doing a really good job of hanging with Nuss. They're able to pick up just a little bit. Every lap certainly hasn't closed the gap all the way, but seems to have a little bit more luck. He's driving a little bit deeper and maybe diamonding the track off just there a bit, Chris.
I think that's exactly a good call. That's exactly what he's doing. You got a lot of rubber now in that bottom lane. The best thing you can do is just diamond the track. And if you're new to iRacing or any kind of racing, what diming is basically is you're making each straightaway, which there aren't any here, longer. So you're kind of going in, letting the car drift up, and then bringing it back to the bottom coming off the corner. Brian Neff's one you'll see doing that a lot with.
Yeah, Neff's certainly a fan of that. Ryan Nuss starting to close that gap on Lucas Stinziano by just a bit. Lucas going to have a mirror full of them here in a moment. But man, Nuss and Lowell Jewell really class of the field. Matt Shanowski doing a good job holding on to 3rd. Playing good defense. J.R. Shepard hungry, but just can't can't find an opportunity yet, and Shinosky going to be really careful not to make a mistake. Oh, J.R. Shepard getting a little bit of the horn there from Brian Neff. Now, Shepard had to check up just a little bit to stay off of Shinosky, and, you know, when you're running nose to tail like that, it's just going to happen.
Yeah, you got these top 2, and then you got about 6 cars underneath a blanket. Make that 8. Apparently I can't count, but 8 cars underneath a blanket.
Oh, there we go. So, I'm sorry. You know, Stinziano all of a sudden just almost stopped in the turn. Now, he got up the track and out of the way, but it happened so suddenly, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to overreact, but Nuss able to make the move past him cleanly. Oh, the caution, as I'm talking about that, the caution's out.
Brian Neff on the back,
yeah,
straightaway-ish.
Neff was having a solid run. Let's see if we can pick it up on the replay here and see what happened. There's Neff on screen. We're watching him. Coming off the turn. Car looks good so far. Oh, and then he has a little bit of contact with Shepard. Yeah.
Looks like Shepard got the curve, and Neff got in the back of him and just lost the back end there.
Yeah, and Donnie, of course, had nowhere to go either. So Donnie collects a little bit of the rear end of Neff. And so Neff probably going to, I don't know, let's see, where's he going to settle in here? We're on board with Donnie Moore. You'll see Donnie Moore get into the back of Neff here in just a moment.
Looks like he's going to be P12. He'll stay on the lead lap, which is good for his sakes.
Yeah, Donnie with just no time to react at all. Neff, as you saw there, just spun right around in front of him, but that does bring out another caution flag. I believe that's our second one of the night. Again, we're just we're burning down these laps like money, and we're already 52 laps in. Still sees Ryan Nuss as your leader, and he's having a great run. Lowell Jewell right there with him.
Yeah, you got Shinowski, you got Shepard, you got how about Ben Wolfson? He's up there in the 5th position with Donnie Moore. I think Wolfson, if I remember correctly, started back in the 10th position. So he's actually it's Chris Wolfson. I'm getting mixed up with the Wolfsons here. Ben started 16th on the field. He's in the top 5.
Yeah, having a solid run, really solid run, taking advantage of those opportunities. Ben finds himself here in the top 5. Nice battle for him this evening. He's certainly seen every car in the field. Donnie Moore still in 6th, holding it down.
You got Tim Nod, you got Holcomb, you got Philip Temples, the winner from earlier. He's there in the 9th position, having a solid run himself.
Well, we've cut it in half. That's going to slide Neff all the way back to 12th place. He'll have a lot of traffic to get through to get back up here. We're running out of time. We've cut it in half. Pace car. Getting ready to go live. The pace car is in. Ryan Nuss number 4. And he's on it, brother. Down the front stretch he goes and into one.
Good restart for Jewell.
Boy, Lowell closed up on him quick there. Had to back out just a bit. Shinosky, good job on the restart. J.R. Shepard still holding down 4th. Ben Wolfson doing a good job. Nailing down 5th. He's going to have to watch out. He's got Donnie Moore just behind him. Already looking for an opportunity. Boy, you know what? I gotta be honest. Nuss is really hooked up tonight. I think he got some practice laps in this week.
Yeah, he definitely did his part tonight. Did some homework. It's one car running over the curve back there mid-pack, but Nuss has done a great job and just holding that bottom line. That's pretty much what you can do. If you get into a rhythm and hold that bottom line, you could be really fast here around this 3/8 mile track.
And he has been riding it all night, doing a really good job. That's one of the things we kind of alluded to in the start. If you can get that thing in tight and off fast, you are really going to have a chance to leave the field. Everybody else racing so tightly and trying to find an advantage has just allowed Nuss to eat up the clean air and just have a blast up there.
He has, and that's one thing. He's been fast on those short runs, and then all of a sudden you see Lowell Jewell starting to bring him kind of in. That's what you're seeing right now as I'm watching Brian Neff put a lot of pressure back here on Joe Marks in the 3.
Yeah, Neff looking to try and get back up into the battle. He's running out of time. Only 39 laps to go. And that may seem like a lot of laps, but with the pace we've seen tonight, Chris, that's really not much left at this point.
No, at that rate, we'll be done here in about 5 minutes and with 38 laps to go. But another battle I've been watching, J.R. Shepard. He is looking very good in that 98 car. Him and Shanowski, they are almost bumper to bumper right now going into turn 3. Shepard's trying to find a way to stay off the curb, 1, and 2, get around to 35.
Those two have been mixing it up all night. All night, Chris. That's been a good battle to watch. Donnie Moore getting a little impatient, I think, with Ben Wolfson.
Eventually you got to put the horn in.
Yeah, he's tightening things up on him, putting a little bit of pressure on Ben. No pressure for Ryan Nuss, though. Really hooked up this evening in that Teeny Turtles Child Care SK Modified, the number 13. Looking high, wide, and handsome tonight. Not that high on the track, though. He is, as we talked about a moment ago, really eating up that bottom line. Done a nice job. Now, I got to be honest, here over the past couple laps, the car started to move up the track just a bit. Might be trying to cool the tires. Lowell Jewell able to close the gap a little bit, taking advantage of it, but not threatening yet. It's still Ryan Nuss's race to win. Still a good, Matt Shanowski coming up the track just a little bit. J.R. Shepard putting the heat on him.
There's some great racing back here. Third on back. You almost wonder if Shanowski, it's one of those deals where you always hear if your right side's all beaten up, it's because you've been passing people. If your left side's all beaten up, you're being passed by people. I think Shanowski's in one of those situations where if somebody got to his inside, his left side might get beaten up as he is just kind of holding them up a little bit here.
And hey, folks, might have a small technical difficulty with some audio. I do apologize for that if that's the case. We get back to the racing here, though, and still Ryan Nuss just nailing it, baby. Having a good one tonight. Second being held by Lowell Jewell, Matt Shanowski in third, J.R. Shepard in fourth, Benjamin Wolfson still hanging on to fifth place.
You know, I say that, and now all of a sudden Shanowski's starting to catch Jewell in second, so maybe I'm wrong, but maybe he's just doing some tire saving, trying to get towards the end of this race here as we're under 30 to go now.
Well, I think what's happened to Lowell is, Lowell, I think, saw where we talked about Nuss maybe trying to, kind of cool things off a bit. Lowell tried to take advantage of that, was driving the car hard. Now Lowell finds himself in the position of, I got to back this thing off a little bit if I want to finish this race and hold this second position. He does have a good advantage over Matt Shanowski right now. Matt Shanowski, honestly, driving out of his mirror. He's got a lot of pressure from J.R. Shepard.
He does, and Shepard's got a lot of pressure from Benjamin Wolfson. He's got a lot of pressure from Donnie Moore. It goes all the way back to about 9th place where you see John Holcomb and Philip Temples, those guys back there. It's just a gaggle of cars here. Throw a blanket on them.
Yeah, and Brian Neff not able to make up any ground. Still trying to get around Joe Marks back there. This battle Shanowski's having with J.R. Shepard, a really good one. You can tell.
There's the bumper.
Yeah, there it is. Just as I start talking about it, J.R., you see, really wants to make a move on him. He also doesn't want to wreck him. And I think right now his only option might be to wreck him. Just up in front of our leader, we've got a little battle between Stinziano and Richard Blake.
They're getting a little physical up here.
Yes, they are, right in front of the leader as Ryan Nuss is starting to make his way to him very quickly.
Stinziano's trying to get around him. He's like, dude, you're in my way. And he's punted him about 3 or 4 times, and now they're going to go side by side in front of the leader.
Oh, boy, this could get really nervous. They're both almost sideways through there. Stinziano getting on the berm.
Oh,
contact just in front of the leader car.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my.
Blake is in the fence.
Oh, Shanowski gets caught up in that back there also. Car is smoking. Oh, what a mess.
That is the absolute worst case scenario you could have in this situation. Holcomb, it looks like, got a piece of this. Oh, my goodness.
Let's go to the replay. Wow. You see Stinziano in the red car there on the bottom up front. It's got Richard Blake just above him. They make contact. Stinziano gets loose to the inside. Blake just runs all the way off onto the back 40. And then you see the checkup behind. and Shinosky with nowhere to go, just flat spots the front of the car completely.
Oh my gosh! And you know, you can easily get mad. I'm listening to some of the audio here. You could get mad at those guys for battling, but at the same time, they're running for position too. So it's like you do it to a point. It's just, oh man, that's a racing deal that you just never want to see happen.
Yeah, you don't want to see it happen, but boy, I wouldn't be too happy right now. You got the leaders. You got an angry mob coming that are on the lead lap, and well, I don't know. That's again, oh man, what a hard hit for Shinosky. Destroyed that race car. Shinosky having a great run tonight, and it's all for naught now. He's just not going to have enough time to get back to the front of this field. Now, he does have that fast repair that he was able to use. He's back on track. He will restart in 13th place, but again, that's going to be a tough call to find his way back to the podium. There's Richard Blake on the replay.
Oh my gosh, this guy here. Remember I talked about last week getting your gear for off track?
Oh man. And the car got airborne there when he went over the turn and just went for flight. All the way, like I said, off on to what I like to call the back 40. That's that part of the ranch that you just don't use much and hope you don't get back to a whole lot. And he found it.
Well, he found it in a hard way too. He definitely caught a good amount of air. I think he flew a good 5 to 10 feet off the track before coming down on the ground. And like I said, I hope he brought his tent gear or whatever he needs to survive an off track like that.
Well, we'll go ground control to Major Tom and get back to the action because Ryan Nuss has got a restart ready to go. The lights are off on the Ford Mustang pace car. Let's get it cranked up again. Got just 18 laps to go. As they come across the line, it'll be 17. Ryan Nuss, he's waiting. He's off. He tried to stack it up just
jumped it a little bit there.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any rules on restart, but he definitely got on it pretty good.
Lowell doing a nice job to catch back up. Here comes J.R. Shepard up to third. Donnie Moore up to fourth.
You should mention Benjamin Wolfson caught some damage in that incident too. He's back in the 13th position now.
Yeah, tough break there for Ben. He was having a good run and come all the way from the back of the field once. Again, I think time's going to be your enemy here. Going to be a tough task for him to make it. But man, Ryan Nuss, again, just able to get away from the field on board with JR now. He's working to try and get around Lowell Jewell. Lowell's been a tough customer all night. I don't know if he's going to be able to pull that off. My money is sure not on that.
Hey, what, Nuss can just keep doing what he's doing another 13 times. There is nothing going to get past him, and he's on his way to his first victory.
Oh, it's definitely go time. It's time to boogie. Let's get this done. Nuss can feel it. He can smell it. So can Lowell Jewell, though. Lowell not giving up the fight. Lowell is really he's been able to drive that car a little bit deeper into the turns all night because he's driving just a little bit different line. But Nuss seems to make up ground whenever he wants to. Whenever he seems to feel a little bit of pressure, he starts to open it back up again, just like he's doing now.
Not to mention, you talked about earlier in the race, would we see a first-time winner tonight or a repeat winner? We got the first 3 positions, not won a race yet this season, so chances are looking pretty good for the first-timers.
Well, and John Holcomb, we missed it, but John Holcomb got off track. See that smoke outside of turn 4. Holcomb got off track. Luckily, that did not bring out a caution.
Oh, I thought Joe was cooking burgers again on the grill.
Holcomb making contact with Ernie Brown and then hits that berm, and that shoots him across the track in front of everybody. Boy, that was a really good moment. All right, so we're back to the action. 9 laps to go. Your leader, Ryan Nuss. Lowell Jewell sitting in second. Under threat now from J.R. Shepard in third. Donnie Moore a little bit off the pace. Can't get to J.R. Shepard yet. Tim Knott in fifth. That's just a gaggle of cars behind him. They're all fighting. J.R. Shepard got some legs. Maybe he's working.
He gets one shot on the inside. He's got to take it now, and I think he's got to get the chrome horn working here too. But then again, you look at Lowell Jewell. He's starting to kind of catch back up to Nuss here. We could have ourselves a fight for the lead.
Lowell's starting to open the door just a bit. Can J.R. Shepard take advantage with 6 laps to go? I just don't see Nuss giving this thing up. He's the only person that can beat him.
Yeah, he's been taking a kind of a high exit off the corners, and I've been watching it kind of closely, so we'll have to see. But right now, that lead about 4/10. It's going to be tight here.
Ooh, JR almost with the horn there to Lowell Jewell. We got the cart. Oh, that was Joe Marks off the track back there.
No caution. We're still green. Leaders are coming.
He spun in a good spot there where they were all able to get around while he was spinning. It did not bring out the caution. We are still green.
Another car off
3
track.
laps to go.
Brian Neff.
Oh, Marks up the hill.
Oh, boy. That's a precarious position. White flag, I believe.
Was that?
Up 2 to go.
2 laps to go. Here we are. Ryan Nuss, your leader. Digging for the white flag. Lowell Jewell trying to hang on to second. J.R. Shepard all over him back there, but it's Ryan Nuss. Nuss around one more time. The number 13 SK Modified. Teeny Turtles Childcare out of 4. One last time. Here he comes. Across the line, and your winner, Ryan Nuss. Lowell Jewell hangs on to second. J.R. Shepard in third. Donnie Moore fourth. And Tim Knott with a 5th place finish.
Yeah, great battle between him and Philip Temples there across the line. Knott was able to hold on for that top 5 finish, I believe.
Man, Ryan Nuss, just, again, we talked about him being hooked up. Really was feeling it tonight. Had really good rhythm all night. Was able to step away from the field for the entire race and puts on a great show for everyone. A race that only saw 3 cautions, Chris. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk about it a little bit more. We'll give you the full rundown. We'll talk to these drivers and then say goodnight. But we'll be back in just a moment here on iRacing Live and the Global Sim Racing Channel. Welcome back to the Outlaw 100, just wrapped up here at Oxford Plains Speedway on iRacing Live and the Global Sim Racing Channel. What a race, 100 laps in the books. We saw a great one tonight that Ryan Nuss came home the winner. Winner number 4 this season, 4 races, 4 different winners. Ryan Nuss finishes first. Lowell Joel with a great run this evening, up in the top 10 in points, and he finishes second tonight. J.R. Shepard with a great run. He was working Lowell over there in the last closing laps. Third place for him. Donnie Moore. Donnie, again, solid night at this track. He'll take a 4th. Tim Knott finishes 5th. Phil Temples in 6th. Brian F. going to have to settle for 7th. Was able to get a little bit back. That'll be a decent points night for him. Ralph Connor in 8th. 9th place going to go to Brian. 9th place going to go to Ernie Brown. And then rounding out the top 10, Matt Shanoski.
Yeah, looking at the rest of your field, definitely some battles and some beaten up cars, and one car unfortunately going way off the track. But Benjamin Wolfson involved in that light race incident. He's going to finish 11th. Lucas Stenziano 12th. Joe Marks 13th. John Holcomb 14th. Blake, that car that unfortunately had the off-course excursion. He tried to buzz the tower, as I was talking about off the air. He finished 15th. Mike Holloway 16th. Chris Wolfson unfortunately going to finish last on the field.
All right, and that was our field. Sorry if I got any of those wrong. I don't know if I was looking at the right lineup there at the end. But we do know that Ryan Nuss won this race, and Lowell Jewell finished second, and J.R. Shepard was in third. And we've got all 3 of them ready to come on in and talk with us. Let's start by talking to J.R. Shepard. J.R. Shepard, driver of the number 98 SK Modified. Welcome aboard, sir. Good to see you in here tonight. How you feeling?
Hey, feeling good after that.
Yeah, that was a pretty decent run, man. We talked about you working Lowell over there, working him over in the closing laps of this race. That had to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. We talked about it a little bit after the race, and he was holding his line the way he needed to, and I wasn't going to spin him, so I thought I'd give him a few bumps, and he stayed in front of me.
Well, I'm sure you were hoping for him to make a mistake. We saw several times this evening where opportunity came when a car maybe started to get that right rear a little bit hot and had to kind of move up the track. Lowell did a pretty good job there at the end, saving just enough to keep her in front of you.
Yeah, he did. Cars were starting to get a little loose, like you said, at the end of that run, but he did what he needed to, and I just wasn't fast enough to get around him.
All right, well, next week we head over to Southern National Motorsports Park. Had a lot of time there yet?
I've ran a little bit there. Probably not 100% comfortable with it, but it should produce a good race.
Well, you got to be happy to finish on the podium. Not a bad place to end up this evening. You were sitting 4th in points coming into the evening, tied with John Holcomb. John not having a really decent result this evening, and certainly not going to hurt you in the points chase. Got to be happy with that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's still awful early though to be thinking about points. Just got to go race by race at this time.
Well, true enough on that for sure. Hey, again, congratulations on your podium finish. Hope we get a chance to talk to you again next week at Southern National Motorsports Park. Be safe. We'll see you down the road.
Thanks, Sean.
All right, that was J.R. Shepard, driver of the number 98 SK Modified. We're going to catch up with Lowell Jewell. I believe Chris is found him there. Chris, you got Lowell?
I do have Lowell, and a great run for him. We were talking before the race about Lowell being down a little bit in points, and we said, tonight would be a great night to get him that kickstart for the season. Lowell, P2 tonight, and a shot at the win, coming up a little short, but that's still got to be a great run and a good start for you for maybe the rest of the season and a good points run.
Man, I hope so. That was a lot of fun. First of all, congratulations to Ryan. He ran a perfect race, made no mistakes, didn't even give me a chance to get up there and wrestle him for it.
Well, a couple things I did notice in the race there. It looked like he was very good on the short run, and you started kind of reeling it back in on the long run. Did you feel like your car was better then?
It was. Mostly it was me getting in a rhythm. It took me a few laps. My goal there at the end was let them tires calm down a little bit and make a run with 3 or 4 to go. Unfortunately, JR had the same idea behind me and started putting the pressure on me, so that kind of kept me from getting to Ryan. But again, Ryan just ran a perfect race.
Well, and you did a fantastic job too. You got some momentum now as you go to a new track here on iRacing with at Southern. And how you looking? You looking forward to that this week?
Looking forward to it. It'll be the first time under the lights at that track. I like the track. I think I'll be okay starting 7th, I guess.
Well, we look forward to watching you put on a show again next week. As you mentioned, you'll start 7th with the whole inversion. But looking forward to a fun show. Congratulations on your P2.
Thanks, Chris. Y'all have a good night.
Absolutely. You do the same. And Sean, I believe you're in Victory Lane.
I have caught up in Victory Lane. Driver to number 13, Ryan Nuss, Tron. Great run this evening, man. You were hooked up.
Oh my God. Thank you, Lord. That 100 laps was way too long. I think we need to go back to 75 because I'm still shaking from that.
Yeah. Ryan, you haven't had a whole lot of luck this season. Tonight it wasn't about luck. It was really about you were hooked up, man. It seemed like you had a really nice rhythm.
Yeah, those cautions kind of slowed me down. I would kind of look in the back rear mirror a few times, and that would kind of slow me up when we start getting going. But yeah, it was pretty much me screwing myself up if I was going to lose the lead.
Yeah, well, I said there at the end, you were the only one that could beat yourself for this race with about 5 laps to go. Again, just a really great drive. Again, I know you haven't had the best luck this season. It's got to feel really special right now to get one tonight.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I've been with these guys for 2 years now, and I'm not very fast. My consistency is definitely down for these past couple seasons, but I'll take my 3rd win for the time I've been with these guys. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, win number 3 is a good one. You are the 4th winner this season. Very competitive as opposed to maybe seasons past. We find ourselves at race number 4 and the completion of it. Things are pretty tight at the top right now.
Yeah, I'd like to see myself get up there a little bit. I see I'm quite a ways back behind everyone right now, but hopefully with this win I can push forward and get some more at least top 5 finishes.
Well, you're going to pick up a solid 14 points for tonight's effort. Matt Shinosky not having the best evening, so again, great job. Congratulations. Now we do head to Southern National next week, and what are your feelings about Southern National?
The times that we've raced there, they have been a lot of fun. It's a great track. Usually get some good side-by-side racing action, so I'm looking forward to it. I hate starting back in 8th now, but hey, what can you do after you finish 1st?
Yeah, well, hey, that's one of the things we love about the Outlaw Modified Series, and the fact that you inverted the field, and it does come at a cost, but man, you're pretty fast this week. I like your chances as we head over there next week, and I wish you the best. Take care and travel safe, my friend.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was Ryan Nuss, driver of the number 13 SK Modified. Your big winner tonight, Chris. That was a good, fast one, man. They really put on quite a show here this evening.
Yeah, they did. It was a fantastic race, and it was a lot of single-file racing, but when you have a track that really doesn't have any straightaways, you're more turning the whole time. That's what you're going to get. So, nothing more to say. Great race. Congrats to Ryan. Lowell Jewell with a great points run, as he talked about in his interview. Maybe he can get that momentum kicked off for Southern. J.R. Shepard, a good run, P3, and Donnie Moore continuing his momentum this week with a 4th-place finish. But as mentioned, Southern Motorsports next week, and under the lights should be a fun Saturday night at the short tracks to kick off the month of May.
Chris, it was certainly a blast tonight to be with you. Good time. Want to take a moment to thank everybody on the staff here. Let everybody know that the Bootleg Racing League's got a lot of stuff coming up this coming week. The Copperline Legend Series every Tuesday night. They go green at 7:20 Eastern Standard Time. The White Lightning Limited Late Model Series follows right after them at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Then we get to Saturday night, and that's when all the fun starts at the Whiskey Run Truck Series, 7 o'clock, followed immediately by the Crooked Still Late Model Series at 8, and then find us here on iRacing Live and the Global Sim Racing Channel, 9:15 every Saturday night Eastern Standard Time. The Outlaw Modified Series. We'll bring you another 100 laps next week from Southern National. But tonight, we want to thank everybody that makes this possible. Our post-race thanks go to iRacing.com, XSplit, Audio Technica Corporation, Aver Media USA. We have to thank the amazing Dougie Beard and all those spectacular camera angles he provides us with every week. Our music brought to us by Eric Ekholm and Casey Lalonde. You can find them right there on screen, folks. We enjoyed having you in again this week, and you can stay up to date with the Global Sim Racing Channel at globalsimracingchannel.com. Find us on YouTube, at GSR Channel, on Twitter, Facebook, Global Sim Racing Channel. You want more information about the Bootleg Racing League? Remember, they would love to put your name on their series, love to work with you, maybe even put your name on a race. Get a hold of them at bootlegracingleague.com/sponsorship. Find them on Facebook at Bootleg Racing League. Chris Wolfson does a great job writing an article, a recap every week for iRacing News. You can find those there. But Chris, next week it begins again. Race number 5.
Yes, I have Georgia on my mind, Southern National Motorsports Park. We'll see you next Saturday night. It's going to be a fun night.
Can't wait to get there, but until next time, race clean, race hard, and I'll see you on the track.